Alright, let's get into Bleach Arc 3, the rescue arc. This is the actual rescue arc. Unlike like people kind of get confused when it says rescue and they consider it to be like a 40 episode long arc, but that's not the case. They're like divided into two arcs. This is basically the Soul Society arc divided into two sub arcs. Basically, first one is basically the sneak entry arc, which is basically Ichigo and his friends getting into the Soul Society and everything. That's basically the base ground to the start of the series. It's the start of that arc, not the series. Jeez. Well, technically, it's the base ground to the start of series 2 because the main storyline starts from this arc. But yes, this is the base ground. The first arc from the first sub arc of Soul Society arc, and now the second sub arc of the Soul Society arc, and the final arc of Soul Society arc is basically Rukia Rescue arc. Simple as that. The name is in itself Rukia Rescue. That's basically it. Um, Now I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible because I realized in the last two videos that I made they went over 40 minutes long. Like, that's far too long for me. And I had to cut out a lot of stuff from my second video too because I spoke a lot about a lot of stuff. And I didn't want the video to go over an hour long because that would have been crazy. So I'm gonna try to keep the video down below 30 minutes or something because I really don't want to make a 30 like 40 and 50 or an hour video. That would be a live stream or something for me. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Let's get into the arc anyways. Um the arc starts off with a very interesting thing that happens, and that is basically Renji's Bankai's awakening. Not the Bankai, the the Zanpakuto. There we go. Awakening. No, his Bankai wasn't awakened. It was a Zanpakuto who was awakened, and who basically who I completely lost my words, didn't I? he who so basically Zabimaru was visible to Renji, and after so many years he sees him, and this basically what it means is that now Renji is capable of using Bankai. And if anybody doesn't know what Bankai is basically a power up, like we have in a lot of anime. It's the second level of a Zanpakuto, and you could call it like a power up, like any anime power up. Let's say Dragon Ball Super Saiyan, or like stick Naruto, be a like Sage mode or some shit like that. Like that's basically what Bankai is over here, the second stage of a Zanpakuto. And that's what Renji basically is capable of achieving with a little bit of training, and that's basically what happens is Renji basically trains. He obviously achieves Bankai in this arc, which I'll get into later on, but that's basically the start of the arc, the how this arc starts off. Second thing that happens is Ichigo, Yoroichi makes Ichigo, by the way, Yoroichi is a bae, don't add me. Yoroichi makes Ichigo look weak. Like she basically makes Ichigo feel weak. She shows him how weak he is compared to a captain. Like I said in the last video, I don't know if I made this point or not, but the parallel screwed up completely because Kenpachi becomes so OP later on. And it's not even funny. It's not even funny, and I'm not talking about the final arc. I'm just talking about like let's just take the Yokomundo arc. Like he becomes so OP in that arc. Like even in the Bound arc, he's already so OP. This man is overpowered, and he's still a badass. That's why I love Kenpachi. Personally, I don't mind. Personally, most of the times when I see the overpowered character, it's just like yeah, the plot rises. But when I see Kenpachi, I don't feel that. Like he low key is damn strong. Like he's the guy what call the badass captain. But yeah, Kenpachi was for last uh a, a video's topic. But we will get into Kenpachi too later on. But let's talk about Uryu versus Mayuri, the fight that I just have to say, Soul Society arc has some of the best animated fights I've seen for early anime. Like, this is early anime, alright? This isn't like your new anime or anything, like the new like HD animation or anything. This was when you had 480p. That's basically the start. It shows, like, even at that time, I don't like the Studio Pirate as a whole. Like, I did not like them because of how bad they mess up things, and they did do this with Bleach too. And people complain about fillers, and that's I can agree. The fillers are placed at random places, except for the Bound arc and the arc after that. I forgot whatever the princess arc. I don't know what that was, but still, like, except for those two fillers, all the fillers are messed up and placed like in such a weird way. It's like, where are you placing the fillers? If you want to place a filler, make it seem like legit. Like, like make it seem like you're placing a filler, like not before you get into an exciting fight, because you just get into an exciting fight and all of a sudden you see a filler blank out on you, and like, what happened 20 episodes ago? I don't remember. I have to go back and watch that. That's basically what happens when when a filler pops up. And it takes away concentration from what the main thing about the series is. That's what I don't like about Bleach anime, because it's just that it's not the fillers are bad. Some fillers are bad, not all of them. But it's just like you place it to a wrong place just makes it look bad. So just making that point there. Uh, Other than that, let's also get into Uryu. Uryu versus Mayuri, and Mayuri is the madman scientist captain. If you don't know that, so this is an obvious fight, and why it was such a obvious fight, and why it should have, because Mayuri is obviously a madman. He does all kind of experiments and stuff, and Uryu is a honest, like a honorable man, I would say. Like, he has pride and everything, somewhat like a rivalry pride that would that it kind of like a high ground pride. Not as let's just put it like, it's not as high as Vegeta's pride, but it's still high, and it's just basically that's Uryu for you. Um, but yeah, he goes up against Mayuri, and we come to know about the interesting past that Uryu has and everything. And it's pretty cool to see that fight. I'm not gonna lie. Like, even though there was a lot of talk in between, and it's usual in shonen anime, you have fights going on here and there, and then suddenly you'll wait for a 5 minute break, and then they'll talk to each other. It's very common in shonen anime. It's just so common that it's just you don't get a legit one-on-one fight. Only series that I remember being a non-filler, okay? I'm talking about non-filler, because if you guys bring up Dragon Ball, I'm gonna say, dude, you do realize that the 4 hour fight was most of it, almost all of it is filler, like literally, like that shit would have been completed in 5 to 6 episodes if it was animated today. So I'm just gonna say that Dragon Ball Z, yeah, that's the reason why you gotta watch Dragon Ball Kai, because to conclude the Freeze arc in like 20 episodes or something. So just shows you how much filler there is. But yeah, like, it's quite common in shonen anime where people talk and everything, and so that's the reason why it was obvious. The only shonen anime that I ever remember that I watched and legitimately a person didn't speak or anything, and it was just a straight up brawl, was um what was Hunter x Hunter, when Hisoka and Gon, they straight up threw hands together in that tournament, like in the tournament arc. Let me know if you guys want me to review Hunter x Hunter. It's one of my favorite series all time. Yes, it's up there at One Piece, which is obviously my one of my favorite series. It's not my number one, but it's definitely in my top five. So yeah, it's up there with One Piece when it comes to Hunter x Hunter. It's an amazing series, and if you guys haven't watched it yet, please give it a try. It is an amazing series. I really recommend it. Like it's so good. you're gonna love it once you start watching it. Like that's how good Hunter x Hunter is. But yeah, this is Bleach, not Hunter x Hunter. So let's just get into what I want to speak about. Yeah, Uryu versus Mayuri was a pretty good, well animated fight. The whole sequence about Uryu and Mayuri being like Mayuri being the one who delayed the Soul Reapers to get to the Quincy, the old man, his grandfather. So it just shows that Mayuri is just straight up sadistic. He does not give a damn. He does not give a damn about anything. He just wants to just get a research specimens. Just research specimens. That's all. And yes, Uryu loses his Quincy powers if you guys haven't noticed it by now. But yeah. But if you haven't noticed it by the end of the arc, I don't know what you're doing because Uryu had so many chances to use his Quincy power, but he doesn't because it's obvious that he lost his powers. So yes, when he unplugged that thing, and even his grandfather said you will lose all your Quincy powers, and he unplugged his glove, and boom, all of his Quincy powers. He began getting reishi, and what's reishi is basically what Soul Society is made of, reishi. So he was getting reishi all over from the Soul Society and everything. So yes, reishi is just basically spirit energy. That's basically it. There you go. I said it was the whole society was the whole Soul Society is made of it, and actually it is true. The whole Soul Society has a lot of reishi, so technically you could even say it's made of reishi. So yeah, that, after that whole sequence where he just blasts off Mayuri's head, and we also get to see the first Bankai in the series, legitimate first Bankai of the series, first Bankai, and it was Mayuri, and it may be gross, but that is one hell of a broken Bankai if used correctly. Like, I'm not joking. Like, your opponent will be paralyzed in your Shikai state, and once you're Bankai, you will get poisoned. That is straight up death sentence right over there. Just one hit from the Shikai, get paralyzed, and get poisoned. That's broken. That is straight up broken. You can't tell me in straight face that that's not broken. I mean, a lot of stuff is broken. Even the Aran cards are broken in the series. So, anyways, uh, let's now that that's done with all of this stuff, let's also talk about what happened with Uryu and what happened with our boy Tosin. There we go. I actually got his name right for once. Tosin. He basically one-shotted Uryu. That's basically what happened. He literally one-shotted Uryu. That's it. That's it. Like Uryu never just stood a chance against Tosin because Tosin is quite a broken character, and that's revealed at the end of the series why he's broken character. Like the final arc of the like the second final arc of the anime, yes, something like that I would say. I don't know what to say because technically Aizen was the final arc for me, but I still wanted to continue reading Bleach and everything, so I continued watching Bleach and then read the manga too. So it's just some that's basically why I love. I just like Bleach a lot, so it's just in general. But now that's done, let's also talk about Renji versus Byakuya. A very interesting fight, I would say, where Renji was putting everything on line to fight Byakuya. And it is crazy to see how powerful Byakuya is compared to Renji. And Renji is just starting to use his Bankai, so his Bankai isn't that strong. And basically Byakuya explains why, because he can't control it. He just can't control it because he's just using it for the first time, and it's your first time experience. Anything you do first time, you just can't control it. Anything you do first time, you can't do anything for the first time. You play a game for the first time, you can't get used to it when you're just starting it straight away, unless it's a franchise of a previous series. It's obviously hard to, even if it's a franchise and it's a sequel to the previous series, like it still is pretty hard to get used to controls because they implement a lot of new stuff. That's basically what Renji's Bankai is. Like it is powerful, but it also implemented new stuff, which is due to which Renji had a problem. Plus his spiritual pressure. He couldn't get he didn't have high enough spiritual pressure to control his Bankai, which basically shows that he was still weak at that time to fight with Byakuya. Yes, he didn't have enough spiritual pressure. And that's basically it. Um, Other than that, there's also interesting development that happened in between those episodes, and that is basically how Aizen's death technically. I say technically because we all know what it is. But yeah, Aizen's dead and everything was going on in the background while all these people are training and everything. And we see Toshiro, Momo, and all of these people, like Toshiro getting framed and shit. Like, I must say, this is one of the best. I must say, when it comes to a plot twist, like this is one of the best ways to get a plot twist in a way, because the way they were framing Toshiro, the way they were putting glimpses on Gin and all this stuff, like it just showed how well the script was written for the Soul Society arc. It just was so good. Like it was all overshadowed and everything. It was great, like in general, and then the fillers came to screw it up. Yep, the fillers. Like just in general, the manga script is just so good for until the final arc, because the final arc is obviously rushed. But I just feel like the manga script was pretty compared to the anime, just because the anime just added on nothing but fillers and the fillers and fillers with like 201 episodes fillers. Shows how much just shows fillers there are in the series. But other than that, let's also talk about one of my favorite moments in anime history for me. Anime. Just not one, two, or three. I'm talking about each and every anime that I've ever seen. And this is one of my favorite moments. Top five, definitely. When Ichigo rescues Rukia. That whole sequence. I'm not just talking about that one scene where Ichigo takes on the Phoenix. Nah, nah, nah. I'm not only talking about that sequence. I'm also talking about the sequence where it goes down, blitz in front of them, like what was it called? Flash step. I think so. That's what it was called. Flash steps them gets in front of them and just like busts his palms into everyone. He breaks the lieutenant's, the Soifon's lieutenant's ball minesweeper. He just breaks down that. And then there was I forgot the name. Lieutenants have some pretty hard names to pronounce. Not gonna lie, like for real. But yeah, Yamamoto's lieutenant. He went in and he bodied him too. And then we got Unohana's lieutenant going in, and Ichigo bodied her too. Like this man bodied each and every one of them with just his palm. This man bodied them with just his palm. Just shows how powerful he became, and that's what I loved. But before that, there was one sequence that really like but the first time I saw that sequence, it really sent shivers down my spine. If I had to put it correctly, because when Gin like asked Rukia whether she wants to be rescued or not, that whole sequence was so intensifying, so good, and even the voice acting was on point for Rukia's voice actor. Gonna give it, and doesn't matter if it's an English dub or sub. I still like both of them, and like both of them had a damn good voice actor to do that sequence. So I will say that was quite a sequence to watch. The way Rukia just screams, and she realizes that she basically had that glimmer of hope from somebody like Gin, and Gin already puts fear in her heart. So just like it's so, she feels so pathetic to feel like that. Pathetic. Wow. Pathetic. 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 I don't know why I said that. I have no idea why I said that, but yeah, she feels so pathetic. Pathetic. Why am I saying pathetic? I don't know what's wrong with me. I legitimately don't know what's wrong with me. See, I'm speaking very rarely right now. I don't know. Maybe it's just my sleep and I've not got enough of it because I've been doing too much. So, but anyways, we also let's also talk about mm, obviously a lot of people. Not my favorite fight. Like it's not definitely my top-notch fight. I will not give that to it, but it definitely is quite a good fight. So, and also it's a favorite fight for a lot of people. A lot of people, not just one or two, but a lot of people in Bleach community love this fight, and that's Byakuya versus Ichigo. And without a doubt, we can see why they love this fight because this fight was to show how dominant Ichigo was. It was to show how powerful Ichigo's Bankai was, and it also showed one more thing. Even Ichigo had limits. He had limits because remember this fight Ichigo couldn't defeat he could have defeated Byakuya very easily with his Bankai because his Bankai was pretty damn strong. It was way stronger than Byakuya's Bankai and everything. But the problem here was um his body had reached his limit. Because remember, Ichigo has been fighting continuously for 3 whole days. And if you fight continuously for 3 whole days, and not only just simple person, he was fighting a squad captain Kenpachi, he fought Ikaku, he fought Renji, he fought so many damn strong people. It's just, and he fought Byakuya too. He technically did fight Byakuya too, tried to fight at least Byakuya. So easily, easily. That was quite a like it's just damn. Now, obviously, we all know Ichigo's hollow form. That was quite something, and I'm not gonna spoil what the name is because I know I'm gonna screw it up because I haven't seen or heard the name in a long while. So, I think that's called Wiser, right? Wiser. I don't know. When I hear the name, I'll definitely remember though. But that was Ichigo's hollow form, basically, which he just covers his face with a hollow mask. It basically is a power increase, if you had to put it correctly. That's basically what it is, a power increase. Why am I so calm? It's like yeah, it's a power increase. Like that just sounds so weird. But yeah, and we see how this hollow Ichigo is taking over the normal Ichigo and just going on rampage on Byakuya and dominating him and other stuff. So just it just shows, and also he speaks about how Ichigo does not know how to use his power, and that is true. Ichigo does not know how to use his power. He does not know how to use his power throughout his whole series. He doesn't know it, like low key. Throughout the whole series, that is the reason why only at the end he's the most useful character because at the end he basically matures himself to a point that where he understands how he can basically use his power. But that's a point that we can make later on. I basically spoil people for who haven't watched Bleach, but come on, who hasn't watched Bleach? Yeah, there's gonna be like a million people coming at me. But yeah, that was pretty much the fight between Byakuya and Ichigo. We also come to know about Byakuya's wife and everything, and I think so. That sequence was quite sad for me personally. Like, I don't know why it was, but it was a pretty sad sequence. But before I get into that sequence, which I already got into, I already said my opinion on it, so I don't know why I need to get into it again. But let's talk about the big baddie. Of course, the big baddie. You gotta build up a big baddie like Aizen does. Like low key. This is how you build up a big baddie. Yo, the number one song starts playing. Ichigo and Renji take guard. Ichigo goes up against Aizen. He swings his sword, and Aizen just one taps his sword. He's like, "Is that all you got?" Is that really that? Like what? This is my nail, you know? I just had to use my nail to stop you. Like that just shows. That's how you build a big baddie. A big baddie. Yowich, yes, he was built up, but he wasn't built up like that. Like Aizen was. Aizen's build up was like, yo, he stabbed Momo. He defeated Toshiro, and then he just stopped Ichigo's Bankai with just one finger, one single finger. Oh, that shows how powerful Ichigo is. It shows how much work Ichigo had to put in to defeat this guy at the end of the series. It just shows it. This man stopped at one finger. Like, dude, who like that's very rare to see, where somebody just stops at like one finger taps sword. It's like, now you got like, like I thought you had more for that. Like, it's just crazy. And then everybody's like, he just goes past everyone and Renji and Ichigo and just like blood splat. The good old Bleach blood splat and shit. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I will not lie. Aizen might be the coolest villain that was built up. Like, he was definitely a villain to fear. He was not your typical villain who would just be like, yeah, you know what? It's just a bad day, so I'm just gonna destroy the planet. or my family died because of you, so I'm gonna destroy you and your family. Or it's like he's not your typical villain, and that's what I love about him. He just he is someone just to reckon with. Like, he just wants to stand at the top of the world. I mean, his motivation just sounds like a typical villain. Like, he just wants to stand over everyone, every living being, and everything. It's very common in anime these days. But the way he was built up, nah, fam. I don't think that any anime would build up a villain like they build up Aizen. Now, you guys would argue that Madara. What about Madara? Madara had that thing, but I don't think so. Madara, even though he had this build up on him, I don't think so. His build up was as good as Aizen because, like, dude, that whole sequence was just loved it. Like that whole arc. Aizen was the most built up character. Like, low key, because he died. We didn't know what happened, who killed him. We all thought it was Gin. We all would adopted it was somebody else. It was Toshiro. Gin's. It was Izuru. It was Momo. There were so many people doubting so many Soul Reapers, but nobody ever thought that Aizen would come back just like that. It was like, yeah, you know what? That's just an illusion. It's nothing else. It's nothing but just an illusion. So that whole sequence, just in general, was so good. Love the Aizen sequence, and like if I had to put it, it was definitely Aizen is definitely a top five villain in anime. Like his build up is great, his character is great, and he's such a calm character even in pressure situation. He is so calm. He just doesn't give a shit. He's so calm. Like like just look at this man. He's just smiling as Ichigo appears in front of him. And he's just smiling all the time, even when he was fighting the captains, which I'll get into when I get into that part, but still smiles. He's just smiling. He has this evil smile on him, which just makes him a very good villain, a proper villain, a villain that should be feared. That's what Aizen is truly capable of being. Great job. I'll say great job with the build up and everything with Aizen. Like, love it up to this day. Anyways, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about this whole ordeal of Bleach. If I missed anything, it would be the Kenpachi fight, and I would say it was a pretty good fight. I don't want to go much deep into it because we already know Kenpachi is a badass, and he could easily defeated Tosin and the fox guy. I forgot what his name was. I forgot what his name was. I remembered it. It was on my tongue, but I just forgot it right now again. Was it Hagimaru or something? No, that's an anime. What are you talking about? That's another anime, Hagimaru. What? But yeah, I completely forgot his name. But yeah, the Fox guy and Tosin both taking on both captains shows Kenpachi. Kenpachi. Okay, let's get into Kenpachi. This is what I wanted to talk about. I know I'm going over my next 10, but I want to talk about this really badly. Kenpachi was defeated by Ichigo. Ichigo, okay? But he got strong enough to defeat two captains. Take on two captains at a single time. I doubt Ichigo was able to do that. So yeah, that fight was pretty bullshit. I would straight up say that fight was pretty bullshit. Even the Kenpachi one, that fight was pretty bullshit. Like Loki. It was a plot armor fight. That's literally Loki what I would say. Like taking on two captains is no joke, okay? At a single time that too. Like, that's no joke. Like, my dude Kenpachi went in. He straight out went in on those captains. Even though first it was Tosin and then was the other guy, he still went in. And he did fight two of those captains. He took blows from both the captains. Like, just shows how powerful Kenpachi is. Just gonna say that. Like, and captain's blows are not simple, alright? They are pretty heavy. So, I think that that's about it for this, because there isn't much to talk about after this. There, I mean, obviously there's a backstory and everything, but I really don't feel like I need to go deep into the backstory because I don't think so. What you would not understand about the backstory or anything. But still, yeah, this Fox guy had his backstory with Tosin and how he joined his crew and everything for Tosin, because he believed in Tosin as he thought of Tosin as a true friend and everything, but Tosin betrayed him. So, anyways, I've been saying this for like past couple of minutes, and I have not gotten to the point. But yes, I think that this is where I'll end the video. Good to let me know what you think about this. This general. I don't know why I'm losing my words, but let me know what you think about this arc of Bleach. For again, great arc. Soul Society arc was just great in general. Rukia Rescue arc was amazing. Compared to the previous arc, it was a huge improvement. Even the previous arc was like amazing. Like it was an amazing arc. It was still a huge improvement from the previous arc, and I will give as many points as possible to that. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace.